Action.
Hey, Wayne and Darlene, just wanted to go over a couple basic commands with you. Figured you could replay this a bunch of times. I'm trying to just keep it short so you could, replay it without having to wait an hour to get some of this. Just real simple things. Won't be any hunting commands, just more basic obedience. Obviously, he's been taught to sit on that term. I sometimes will use just the letter S, like S, almost like a snake, if a snake does. I do that just so that when you're in a duck blind, you don't have to keep saying sit, sit, sit. If there's ducks overhead, you can just S, and he knows what that is. I don't use stay, and the reason why I don't use stay is because if he's sitting, he should be staying. It's just another command to know. I use the word here for getting him to come to me. I don't use come. And again, I don't want to confuse Russell or make the transition any harder, so I figured I'd go over these terms with you. But he doesn't know come, he just knows here. He also knows heel, to walk by your side. I primarily use my right hand when I direct him close by, so if I'm going to have him heel, I actually bring my right hand down here, just the way I happen to train him. Some dogs are trained, heel with their left hand, and I trained some dogs that way, but I didn't train Russell that way. That's why I'm shooting this video, so you'll know that. But I use my right hand to bring him into my side. I always try to make him wait before he does something. So I'll show you in a minute how I do it with the crate. I just think it's a good habit to get into. It lets the dog know that you're kind of in control. It keeps the dog from, say, jumping out of a truck when you weren't ready and he could get hit by a car or something. I personally think it'd probably be a good idea the next few weeks for you to make him wait in the house, say before you go out. Make him sit and wait and open the door. I like to be the one who walks through the door, then I call the dog in, and it works the same way going out. That way, if you were going to go outside and you didn't know someone was there, but the dog bounds out ahead of you, then he could get hit, he could get run over. So it's really a safety thing. I do that in the house. I do that getting in and out of the truck. I want him to do it when I say so. I think what that does is it translates later to the duck blind. If you shoot some ducks, you don't want him, when you open the door of the blind, you don't want him blasting out and knocking guns down. It's just unsafe. But I think if you get him used to you saying that in the house and in the truck, it'll pay big dividends during hunting season. He's never had an accident in the house, ever. Even back when he was 7, 8 weeks old. He's never had an accident in the crate, never had an accident in the house. One term I do use when I am letting him out, or say we're getting ready to train and we let the dogs go out and go to the bathroom and things, I use the term out. And so if you let him out, you say, well, I want the dog to air himself, we say out. I mean, that means pee or poop or whatever he's got to do, and he should be used to that. So if you're in a hurry, you can just take him outside and say out, and he should kind of relieve himself. I use a whistle with him. He'll probably respond to a whistle more than voice commands. The whistle, I'll give you a whistle, so it'll be the same tone that he's been trained on. One whistle is for stop, and his is a stop and look. He doesn't sit all the way down. I haven't trained him that way. I've just wanted to keep him moving instead of stop, turn, sit down. He's not running field trials. He doesn't need to do that, but he will respond to a whistle, one whistle blast to turn and look at you, so you can give him hand signals on blind retrieves. As far as the come-in whistle, I just use a multiple, and that's a come-in whistle. That's how that works. If he's coming into me, I don't keep blowing the whistle. I figure if he's doing it on his own, I'm not going to remind him. If he starts to veer off to the side a little bit, I would whistle him into me. I don't believe in giving a command that he's already doing. I told you a little bit about heel, how I do it with my right hand. I line him up for blind retrieves that way. If I was going to run a blind this way, I would bring him into my side. I tell him heel like this, and what I do is I use my right hand and I lay it down in front of him. I'll turn this way so you can see it, and he should follow my hand as to where the blind is. That's just the way I trained him. I don't use my left hand like I do with some dogs, but I don't with Russell. Russell, I do this, and this he should turn wherever that hand goes to line up for different blinds. On a blind retriever, a retrieve he hasn't seen, I use the term dead. While he's sitting there, I say dead. That means it's going to be a blind. You don't know where it is. You got to listen, watch my hand. I say dead, and when I release him, I say back. And I kind of release him that way, and he should go in the direction that he's pointed to. For a marked retrieve, I've trained him to go on his name. We sometimes will bring 3 or 4 dogs out and throw a mark, and then we call them by name. So if I say Cody, which is my own personal dog, he shouldn't move. So if it's a retrieve he's seen, it's Russell, and if it's a blind, it's Dead, and then back. And we'll go over that hunting stuff later. If there's a bird that gets knocked down and you're not exactly sure where it went, it might be wounded, and you're actually going to walk him over there because it's too. You don't want to hand signal him because you're not sure if it went down. It could have been a cripple or something. If it was a bird that fell in a certain area, you have an idea where it is. You can just walk over there with him near you, and then I use dead bird, and then hunt dead, and that's his cue to, you know, nothing's being thrown. It's not really a hand signal blind retrieve. It's just get in this brush pile here and look around for this bird. Same thing. If he's hunting and actively looking for the bird, I don't keep saying hunt dead, dead bird, hunt dead, dead bird. Again, if he's doing what I asked him to do, I don't keep repeating it. I think sometimes you can confuse a dog that way. These are just some basic commands. He hasn't barked since he was probably 2 or 3 months old. If he did back then, what I would do is I would grab his nose and just say quiet. And he has responded, and he really hasn't barked since then. But if you happen to have an issue with that, I also don't like them whining in the blind, and he really hasn't done that either. But again, he does know what quiet means if he should start to bark for you. I will show you something here in a second. As I said, I don't let him bound out of the crate. I want to be kind of in control. And I think the more you do this little stuff with keeping him under control and letting him really focus on you, it'll translate to the field. He'll listen to you more on blind retrieves. He'll listen to you more in the duck blind in a distractive situation. So I don't let him come out when he wants to. I want him to stay in there. He shouldn't really come out until I have a command. And the command I use is okay. That's his command that he can come out. The same thing will work with a food bowl, which I'll show you here in a second. So I open this up. I don't want him bounding out unless he's instructed to. So then I say, okay, come on out. Here. And I'll just show you. I left the food bowl home today, but I'll show you what I do with the food. Heel. Good. Sit. Sit. I figure if you're gonna feed him, I don't want him knocking you down. That's a little disrespectful. I also figure if you're gonna have someone watch him for the weekend, and maybe it's a young person or somebody who's not good with dogs, or maybe it's an older person not good on their feet, I don't think he should be jumping when it comes to food and knocking them down. Russell, heel. Sit. Sit. So let's just pretend this is food. I left my dog food bowl at home, so this is just a little box I have. Sit. I like to set the food down like that, and I like to make him wait for it until I command him, because I don't want to be knocked down or have him knock down someone else. So, okay. So if he was going to eat, that would be a time, and no one's getting hurt or knocked down. He's been a real good dog. I'll tell you, we're all going to miss him. All my hunting group's going to miss him. He's been a great one. And again, I hope you guys will come out with me. We're training at least a couple days a week, and I train some on my own at home. So I want you to come out and let's transfer these commands to him, and I think you'll really get a lot of good years out of him. So anyway, that's it for now, and we'll talk more. Thanks.